Hello, and welcome to another weekend and another general tarot reading aimed at guiding you and me through the coming week. I'm Kat, and this is for the week of September 21st. So my goal here is to hopefully give you some information or direction that you're going to find helpful and useful, comforting, that sort of thing in the week that's coming up. This isn't a reading directed or intended, oh my goodness, for any one person, but there's always themes in a general reading that everybody can spend some time with regardless. So I encourage you to listen and watch and maybe find something that moves you, like a specific idea or an image or anything else that strikes you. You can sit with that, use it as an idea or a feeling to meditate with, or just carry it with you and let your higher self kind of ruminate on it and see what happens. So today I'm using the Sasuraibito tarot. There it is. Very pretty. And then I want to add another message for you as well, using an oracle deck at the end. So let's just shuffle these and see what we get. So I'll start with 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to do that backwards today. Just shake things up a little bit. There we go. So this is position 1, and this is the energy for the upcoming week. And we have the 8 of Cups. And this is a card that can feel like exhaustion and disappointment in what's going on. And I think it shows us that our energy has a sense of feeling detached, of wanting to either give up or wanting to abandon our current path, walk away, leaving everything behind. So really a sense of giving up because what we've wanted to achieve just maybe isn't materializing. So for example, there might be something that we've really worked hard at, put a lot of hours into, really cared deeply about, and then we realize for whatever reason, we need to leave it behind. Maybe it's not working for us, maybe it's become too weighty or difficult to deal with, but whatever the case, we choose ourselves to leave it behind. So this isn't something that's taken from us necessarily. This is more about our own decision to walk away. So this is low energy that leaves us feeling maybe mentally and even physically drained. So really not a completely positive energy to start the week with. But having said that, this can also be the inspiration we need to actively make choices and decisions that we're going to use to improve the situation or bring new energies in that will, or hopefully will, ultimately replace the low ones, the low energies. So we can almost start to plan out some offensive and defensive moves, sort of like knowing our energy is low and we're feeling down. So we get together with friends, eat ice cream, drink wine, go out for coffee, those sorts of things that make us feel better. So we're making a conscious decision on improving our energy. So let's go to possible opportunities for the week. Oh, there we go. And now we have the Queen of Wands in this position. And to me, this is this card of strength and vitality. So we can look for opportunities to sort of pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off after the 8 of Cups. And these are opportunities that we might create for ourselves instead of the ones that pop up, seemingly out of nowhere, where things just tend to happen. But these are instead things that we kind of conjure up ourselves. And if you think about it, this is exactly what the 8 of Cups is trying to show us, that leaving things behind and moving on to bigger and better things. It's something that takes some mental vigor, some real passion and energy that we need to put forth. I see the Queen card as a card that shows creating the right kind of environment and really doing the internal work that we need to prepare for these new opportunities. She is self-assured. She's confident. She knows she's got the power. She knows she's got the power to overcome because she's strong and in control of her abilities. So even though we may choose a more difficult path of walking away from something or abandoning something that was at one time maybe really important to us, I think we realize that we have to because there's better opportunities out there ahead of us. This may not be the easiest of paths to follow, but sometimes the difficult choices are the ones that lead to bigger and better things. So let's go to card 3, and then this is outcomes for the week. And we have the Chariot, and this is an exciting card to have in this position after what looked like a pretty rocky start at the beginning. This is about determination, willpower, self-control. This is the card that says we're taking the bull by the horns and creating the path that we want. So we're leaving what we once felt really very passionate about, and now we're ready to strike out again with something new, something else that maybe we want more, we feel more passionate about, or something that's new and more exciting. It's kind of like a feeling of moving in the right direction, or in a direction that's going to yield the results that maybe we were looking for before but weren't really finding. So really we've gone from feeling down about abandoning something to preparing internally to create bigger and better opportunities. And now we can use this new Chariot energy kind of in an active pursuit of planning the things that are bigger and better than the last thing, because really the Chariot is all about having the willpower and strength within ourselves to take control of our futures and then turn it into exactly what we want it to be. So sometimes what looks like it's going to be something we're unhappy about turns out to be something that's way better than what we'd imagined. And I think we need to feel confident enough in our lives to take chances sometimes. I know that this is something that a really close friend of mine struggles with, and I think they've missed out on a lot of really exciting things because they just haven't followed the advice of their own 8 of Cups. I think it's important to remember that sometimes we can't wait around for things to happen to us or for us. We have to love ourselves enough to create the opportunities that we need to stay on top and in control, and ultimately to keep ourselves happy and feeling satisfied in our lives. So the last thing I want to do for today is to close this off by pulling an oracle card. And I had 2 decks that I took out that I was going to choose from. And I think I'm going to go with this deck, the Wisdom of the Oracle. I really like this deck. Sometimes I get decks that I have a hard time using or that just don't feel like I click with. This is one deck that I've always felt really good about using. Oops. Move that before it falls over. So what do we have here? Oh, we have the Observer. So I find the guidebook for this deck. Oh, there it is. I can't find it for a second. I find the guidebook for this deck to be really good, useful. It's always pretty spot on. So I'm actually going to read this to you. And this is 49. Okay, so here it is. The Observer. Most people see. Okay, so I had to stop for a second because my neighbor was getting pretty carried away with his lawn mowing activities, and it was getting really loud. I have the window open today because it's an absolutely gorgeous day, and I don't really want to shut it because pretty soon it's going to be winter and the windows will be closed for months and months. So I really want the window open, but man, it was getting really loud. So we are talking about the Observer, And the message for the observer is most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need to distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environments that you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. Interesting. So really, the observer is telling us that we do in fact need to step back and walk away at times in order to not get stuck in one way of thinking, or like in one static reality, because there's so much more out there that we can see just by looking around our current environment. So maybe that Eight of Cups energy is really leading us down the right path. So that we have the opportunity to grow and engage with different people and different situations. Our environment needs to be bigger than just encompassing ourselves. It needs to, or should encompass ourselves, but also, the people around us, our family, our friends, strangers, people we haven't met yet, in different places, different cities, towns, environments, different areas, maybe different areas of work. The list can go on and on and on. So I hope you find this all useful in the week to come. If there's anything you want to add to this reading, I'd love to hear it. So feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below. And I wish you a great week, and we'll see you next weekend. Bye.